I'm going to walk you through how to feed and discard your starter. For ease, I'm going to use the same exact jar or cup that I have in the beginning for the starter. So I'm going to take my jar and I'm going to tear it out to 0. So now I know that the weight of my jar that my starter is in is subtracted. So I have 77 total grams of my starter in here. Now it has already risen, it's gone back down. It's kind of still a little bit bubbly, but it's definitely soft. So now I'm going to need 70 to 75 degree water and flour. And I keep mine about 30% whole wheat and 70% all-purpose organic. And then I'm going to need a discard jar. This is what I keep in my fridge. It makes pancakes and cookies and waffles and breads and goodness, all kinds of good things. Just for ease for you guys to understand, I keep this at 100% hydration. So if I have 10 grams of starter left in here, I'm going to meet it with 10 grams of flour and 10 grams of water. So I'm going to take this out. So I have about 10 grams left in my jar, and I'm going to put whatever I'm taking out into my discard jar. Okay, I have 10 grams of starter left in there now. So I'm going to tear my scale so it says 0 again. I'm going to add 10 grams of flour and 10 grams of water. I have my 10 grams of flour in there. I'm going to tear my scale again so it says 0, and I'm going to add 10 grams of water. I have my 10 grams of water in there, and now it's time to stir it up. I'm just going to use a silicone spatula. I could use the end. I could use stainless steel. Just whatever you use, make sure that you're not using anything with tin in it, because it will turn it blue and it will ruin everything that you make with it. Okay, I've stirred this up. I've scraped my sides. You can tell that it's kind of thick, but it's all well blended. There's no clumps in there or anything like that. And it's still a little shiny. It's not completely dry. We don't want it to be completely dry. 4 to 8 hours, this should be doubled at whatever amount that you're keeping. If it's 10 grams of starter and 10 grams of flour and 10 grams of water, or whether it's 100 grams of each, this should be about doubled if you have a warm enough house. So the way that I keep track of that is I take a rubber band and I put it around the bottom of wherever my starter would be at the top. And then I can tell from the outside of the jar, without even opening it, that it is doubled. And I'm just going to put a lid on there. I'm going to keep it on my counter. The lid is going to go on lightly, not too tight, because remember, this is going to grow and create a gas in there. I have my lid on. I have my rubber band on. And in 4 to 8 hours, whenever this is thick and bubbly, that's when you would want to make your levain. Or a lot of times when you're making breads or quick doughs or something like that, they will tell you whether they want fed starter, which is doubled and bubbly, or if it's unfed, and that would be after it has risen and gone back down. This is my discard. This is what I can put in the fridge, put my lid on nice and tight, keep it upright, and if you do that, it will keep for weeks. And I just keep adding to it every day after I feed. Whatever I don't use, or before I feed, sorry, whatever I'm not using and I discard, it goes in here, and then I take it out whenever I need to.